Over the last few years, a guitar player by the name of Yvette Young has really blown up and started taking over the scene as one of the leading sort of progressive modern guitar players out there. I've been watching a lot of her stuff recently, listening to a lot of her music, and I wanted to make a video today on her playing, specifically on the tuning that she uses and how she uses it to create some of the most musical and interesting and melodic guitar-driven instrumental music that's out there today. I'm a huge fan. But before we jump into the video, a quick plug for my brand new course, the Fretboard Fundamentals Lead Guitar course. This course is over 3 hours long. It's designed to not teach you to play like me or anybody else, but instead to give you the core theory knowledge and understanding to help you craft your own sound and your own approach to playing lead guitar. No matter the style of music you're into, what you play, I think you'll find something useful in this course, and you can pre-order it down below for a special discount. The course will never be this discounted ever again, so if you're interested, check it out in the link down below. So with all that out of the way, let's get a guitar and check out some of Yvette's playing.
Hi, my name is Yvette, and I play in a band called Covet. Right now I'm capoed on 2, but right now I'm in F, A, C, G, A, E.
Okay, so first of all, I mean, that intro clip, I think, demonstrates everything there is to say about Yvette Young. She is such an inspired guitar player. Her parts and the way she's combining sort of tapping and hammer-ons and pull-offs and slides, it's so unique and melodic. It's so beautiful. And this tuning that she uses is the first thing that really caught my eye here. And she mentions this open tuning. Now, I'm a huge fan of open tunings. I've made a whole series of videos on different tunings you can use, but I've never encountered this tuning before. Essentially what she's got here is an F major 7 9 chord. So the bottom 3 strings, F, A, and C, that's giving us a major triad, an F major triad. Then she's got the G in here, which is the 9th in the key of F major. And then the A is repeating again. And then we have the E on top, which is our major 7th. So when you just play the open 6 strings, you get this beautiful sort of melancholy texture, this really colorful chord. And what's beautiful about open tunings is you can just take that and bar on all 6 strings and use this voicing anywhere. And like, you could write a song with just those voicings. So I immediately just started messing around in this tuning. And as you start to find these different scale tones, these different chord tones, it's starting to inspire completely new ideas and new lines that I would never play in standard tuning or anything outside of this tuning.
I'm traditionally a piano player. I've played piano since I was 4, so everything in my head, frame of reference is first voice, and then I kind of think about how I would lay it out on a piano. So I view my lower strings as kind of like my left hand.
Okay, that makes all the sense in the world. When you see her play and you listen to her original material, the ideas that she writes, the melodies, and the way she approaches the guitar is not from a traditional guitar player's perspective. And I think that's part of what makes her so unique and such a great player. You can see that she's thinking about this instrument from a completely different perspective, and it comes out in her lines. So she's capoed up on 2, which is basically transposing her from an F major 7 tuning to a G major 7 tuning.
Because in the lower strings, like, you can just view, like, I kind of decide what melody I'm going to play on the top strings first, and then I choose my root notes, my bass notes. I kind of just wrote that, but then I was like, what do I want to do with, like, the lower strings to make it sound full?
Also, her approach to writing parts like that. How she talks about sort of splitting it up, where you come up with the melody first. She'll sing something, she'll have some kind of melody line in her head, and then she brings it to the fretboard, she finds it, and then she sort of crafts what would happen in, the left hand of a piano, the bass hand, just on the lower guitar strings. Like, what does she want to hear the chord changes do on top of her melody? Or what can she do to combine the melody and the chords together? I mean, to me, it's such a unique perspective, and it's something that I'm going to try and implement into my own guitar playing, this idea of sort of splitting up the part into a top line and a bass line, and coming up with them separately and making them work together. I think it's super creative and super inspiring.
Like, I don't...
What? Okay, that's what I'm talking about, right? To me, that's a piano line. That's something that a great pianist, a classical pianist would play, or a jazz pianist would play that line up the piano very quickly, but she's bringing it to guitar, which is, I think, an interesting thing that's happening with a lot of these great modern guitar players, the guitar heroes of today. The Yvette Youngs, the Tim Hensons, the Tosin Abasis, they're approaching the instrument from a different, physical perspective, making it not just sound different in what they're playing in the parts, but actually how they're getting the notes out of the guitar, and what other instruments and what other influences they're referencing in their playing. Like, that's not something that Van Halen would have played, or Hendrix would have played, or any of the heroes of yesterday. We have these modern guitar heroes like Yvette that are so unique and have such a fresh perspective. It's amazing. Okay, her feel is so good. Well, this sounds like something Daniel Lanois would do, right? And this is like a reverb pedal demo. This is on her channel, which is also linked down below. And I think this demonstrates her sense of musicality. She doesn't overplay. She doesn't try and melt your face off. She doesn't try and play super athletically. Even though she can do those things. She's got such a great sense of time feel, of rhythm, and dynamic. And I think this is something that's super, super important that separates a lot of good musicians from great musicians. Someone who has a really strong sense of dynamic. This is just her at her house playing over herself on a looper pedal and a reverb pedal, but it's so musical. And on top of all that, she's got incredible guitar tone. Now, she's got what I would call more of like a modern sound, which is becoming more and more popular, especially with younger players that I see on Instagram and TikTok, where a lot of the guitar sound seems to be based in almost like a DI kind of quality. Even when she's playing through an amp, it doesn't necessarily sound like a traditional amp sort of feel or sound. It's got this hi-fi, wide frequency spectrum sort of DI guitar sound. And then on top of that, she's utilizing a compressor to help her out with the tapping and sliding and hammer-ons and pull-offs that she does. But that compressor is also adding to this sort of hi-fi DI guitar quality, which in many ways is not actually a modern thing. I mean, the Beatles, most of the stuff the Beatles recorded was just direct into a console. So this idea of it being like a modern guitar sound is, somewhat unfounded. But I love the sound. I love the texture. So in this section, she's back in this F major 7 tuning, this F major 7 9 tuning. And part of this performance seems improvised, where she's just utilizing chord tones and scale tones all over the neck to create interesting melodies and interesting lines over this tonic, over this F major. So, little inside baseball here. I started shooting this video like almost 3 hours ago, a little over 3 hours ago, and I've stopped for the last hour and 10 minutes and have just sat here. I've just been watching her play and then trying to pick up what she's doing and internalize it. And I pulled some pedals out to try and get sort of a more interesting kind of sound here. So that's Yvette Young, and I think she's a perfect example of something that I've felt for quite a long time now, which is that I think we're living through another golden age of guitar. Yes, guitar is not popular in terms of, the top 40 charts or the top 100 or whatever, but we have so many incredibly talented young artists who are picking up the guitar as their primary instrument and pushing it forward and creating new sounds and new ideas and inspiring the next generation of guitar players, the next generation of artists. And people like Yvette, I think, are at the forefront of that. Her sound and her writing and her band is so unique. It's so cool and modern. I'm a big fan, and hopefully now you are too. I've got all of her stuff linked in the description box down below, her YouTube channel, Spotify links to her band and her recordings. So please go give her a follow, show her some support. And also, if you're interested, while you're down there, check out the link to my brand new video course, the Fretboard Fundamentals lead guitar course. Once again, you can pre-order it via that link down below. It'll never be this discounted ever again. And this is a great way to support the channel. If you enjoy what I do here, you can subscribe, leave a like, or check out a video course linked down below. Once again, my name is Rhett Shull. Thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, there is no plan B.